Hi there, welcome to Ben's Voice Narrative. In today's lesson, we want to consider a topic in parts of speech. Parts of speech. So, in terms of objective, there are three things we want to do in this class. The first is to understand the definition in terms of meaning of parts of speech. Two, we're going to understand the number of parts of speech in English language. And then finally, number three, we're going to look at the definition as well as the examples of these parts of speech. So let's get to it. What are parts of speech? Parts of speech are like the human beings. They're like the human body. The human body can be broken down into its parts. We have the head has the hair. We have the ear, you have the eyes, you have the brow, you have the cornicles, you have the lips, you have the chin, you have the neck, you have the hands, you have the legs, you have the tarsals. All of these make up. If you put all of these parts of the human body together, you have a human being. What it means is you can break down an entire human being into its part, into its smallest part. And when you put these parts together, you have a whole human being. So a speech is like a human body, it's like a human being that has its parts. Okay, so what is a speech? A speech is a written or a spoken expression. Whatever that you say, whether it makes sense, whatever that you write down, whether it makes sense or not, is a speech. All that I've said so far is a speech. What I just said right now is a speech. When I say speech, that's a speech. That's an expression. Whether I write it down or I say it, all of these are speeches. Speeches are expressions, stream of expressions, utterances that you write down or that you say. That is what we call a speech in English language. So, what are the parts of speech? A speech can be broken down into its own elements, okay? And these elements are what we know as parts of speech. So, what are parts of speech? Parts of speech are the smallest meaningful linguistic element that make up a speech. The smallest meaningful linguistic element that make up a speech is what we know as parts of a speech or parts of speech. Or a part of speech in the singularity is a word, is the smallest meaningful linguistic element that makes up a speech. That's the first way to look at or to define parts of speech. Secondly, you can look at parts of speech. You can define parts of speech as the word class, the word bank, the group of words, the class of words in which you can break a speech into. The class of words or the classes of words, the group of words, the word bank into which a speech can be broken down into. What this means is that the smallest atom of a speech is the part of speech. So, the smallest angle or the smallest lens from which you can view or dissect or analyze a speech, a sentence, an expression is what a part of speech is. So, a group of words, a class of words, or classes of words into which you can break everything that you say or everything that you write down into is a part of speech. Now, in English language, we have the function of the part of speech. The parts of speech perform primarily a single function, and the function is to account for the meaningfulness of a speech, the correctness of a speech. How do you know if a speech really performs this function? To know this, we need to go back to the parts of the human body. Now, the human body can be arranged in a way that you can have a complete human being, and it can also be misarranged. It can be misarranged in a way that you can have a deformed human being. So if you can have complete human beings and then you have people who are physically challenged or people who are said to be disabled, okay, or people who are deformed, you can also have a speech that is deformed. You can also have a speech that is disabled. You can have a speech that is linguistically challenged. So a speech that lacks correctness, a speech that lacks meaningfulness is one in which the parts of speech have been wrongly arranged. So when you put the parts of speech together, you arrange them in the right sequence, in the right ordering, you have a correct speech. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that parts of speech help to achieve a single function in English language, which is to account for the meaningfulness of anything that you say or anything that you write down. That said, let's go to the parts of speech in English language. Of course, you know that we have basically 8 parts of speech in English. 8 parts of speech. 8. Just 8 of them. 8 parts of speech. There are 8 parts of speech in English. The first being noun. You have the pronoun. You have the verb. You have the adverb. You have the adjective. You have the preposition. Am I still within frame? Okay. We have the conjunction. And finally, we have the interjection. Interjection. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are the 8 parts of speech in English: the noun, the pronoun, the verb, the adverb, the adjective, preposition, conjunction, and interjection. So I love to arrange this way so that you can easily remember them. When you start with the noun, okay, now you go to pronoun. If you like, you start with pronoun, okay? There is no unique way of arranging or listing the parts of speech. You can start from the last, you can start from the middle. It doesn't matter where you start or how do you start. I like to start this way. Noun, pronoun, verb. You're adding something to a verb, and that's why we have the adverb, you have the adjective, you have the preposition, you have the conjunction, and then you have the interjection. I should make it clear that in this class, all we want to do is just look at a summary of the parts of speech. In subsequent videos, we're going to be looking at taking out each of these parts of speech and then explain in full. Okay, so let's start with a noun. What is a noun? A noun is a naming word. A naming word. That's one. You can also define a noun as the name of anything. The name of anything. The name of anything. Am I still different? Yes. The name of anything. Or you say it is the name of a person, animal, place, things, or ideas. So a noun is the name of a person, animal, place, things, or, the last one is very important, ideas or concepts. The names, the naming for concept, the naming of ideas is also what a noun is about. So in short, a noun is a naming word or the name of anything. The name of anything you can ever imagine or think of is a noun. A noun is a naming word. It is the name of a person, it's the name of an animal, the name of a place, the name of things, the name of ideas. Examples will be, let's start with the name of a person. My name is Benjamin. Let's say Ben. You have whatever name that you have: James, John, Mary, Archie. You have Sultan, Ali, Salim, etc. The names of animals: you have dog, you have cat, you have rabbit, you have lion, you have tiger, all of that. Then the names of places: you have Nigeria, Oman, Africa, America, the UK, Sib, Muscat, etc. Just the names of places: hospital, schools. So things, the names of things. This is the board. This in my hands is the marker, is the thing. Recording with a camera, with a phone, chair, bed, AC, fan, etc. All of these are examples of things. And then we have ideas. Ideas such as education, concepts such as part of speech, beauty, hatred, intelligence, investigation. All of these are examples of nouns, a naming word. All of this make up what a noun is about. So let's go to pronoun. From pronoun, you have noun. Now, in pronoun, you have noun. So what that means is a pronoun has something to do with a noun. A pronoun is a word that you use instead of a noun to avoid unnecessary repetition. Any word that you use to replace a noun to avoid unnecessary repetition is what you call a pronoun. So a pronoun is a word that is used to replace a noun in order to avoid unnecessary repetition, unnecessary repetition, repetition, sorry. Okay, so if I say, Mr. James was here yesterday, Mr. James asked after my boss, Mr. James is a man, Mr. James is nice, Mr. James is this and all. We have an unnecessary repetition of the word Mr. James, of the name Mr. James. So the word that we use to replace Mr. James is what we know as pronoun. For example, you can say Mr. James was here yesterday. He asked after my boss. He. The word he replaces Mr. James. Okay, so that's a pronoun. Examples of pronouns include he, she, it, we, you, us, them, her, him, it, okay, etc. etc. So a pronoun is any word that is used instead of a noun, a word that is used to replace a noun in order to avoid unnecessary repetition. And number 3, we have the verb. The verb, excuse me, we have the verb. We have the verb. The verb. The verb. The verb is a word that reveals the action performed in an expression, in a speech, in an expression or speech. Okay, it also reveals a state of being, Okay, begin to give example, but before then, so what's a verb? A verb is an action word. A word that reveals, that points out, that shows the action that is performed in an expression or in a speech. Is what you call a verb. Apart from a verb showing action or giving action or revealing the action, it also reveals the state of being. Because it is not every time that you have a verb pointing at an action being performed. Now, we have a verb revealing the state of being, the state of existence. Examples of verbs will be go, talk, walk, investigate. Am I still with them, friend? Investigate, okay. Investigate, run, shop, to go shopping, etc. Now, for the state of being, the state of existence, you have is, you have was, seem. If I say, for example, she is happy, Is the verb there, is an auxiliary verb, but it is not showing action. If I say she is happy, she's not doing anything. I'm only trying to explain, to reveal the state of her being is, was, seem. If I say she seems happy, she seems happy, she looks happy today, she seems happy, she appears to be happy. The word appears, seem, was, is, were, and all of that are also examples of verbs. So a verb is any word that lets you know the action that is taking place in the word. In a speech, in an expression. For example, she is running away. She is running away. What is the action taking place in that expression? Running away. Running. She is running. Is running. She's doing it. She's doing something. She's talking. What is she doing? Talking. So that is what a verb is. A verb is any word in an expression, in a speech, in a sentence that reveals the action that is being performed, or that reveals the state of being or the state of the mind. So let's go to adverb. Remember, the first was a noun, the second was the pronoun, the third was verb, and then the fourth is adverb. Adverb is like you're saying add, addition to verb. Okay, addition to verb. That's a breakdown. A verb plus add. You're adding something to a verb. And what you're adding to a verb here is meaning. You're adding meaning to a verb. Meaning plus verb. So an adverb is a word, is a part of speech that adds more meaning, that modifies a verb. It adds more meaning to a verb. It reveals, it gives extra detail. Do I have a message? Yes. Okay. So an adverb is a word, is a part of speech, is a class of word that reveals more information, that gives extra detail about the action that is performed in a speech or in an expression. An adverb is a word that modifies in brackets adds more meaning to a verb in terms of place. Let me to a verb. Let's put it this way: that modifies the verb in terms of place, comma, time, reason, manner, degree, etc. Okay, so whatever lets you know more about the action that is performed is an adverb. Examples include rudely, very, well, occasionally. Okay, let's start with this occasionally. Let's say school. Let's say now, night, evening, etc. So you can say something like, she spoke to me rudely. The boy spoke to me rudely. How did he speak to me? Rudely. Whatever reveals more information, more detail about the action that is performed in an expression is an adverb, adding more meaning, more information to a verb. So an adverb is a word, is a part of speech that adds more meaning, that modifies the verb in a speech. It gives more information about the verb. All right, let's go to adjective. An adjective is a word that modifies or describes a noun or a pronoun. That an adjective is a word that modifies, that describes, that reveals, that paints, that points at a noun or a pronoun. Examples would be beautiful, black, big, red, etc. So any word that tells you more information about a noun or about a pronoun or about an adverb is an adjective. If I say, give me the green apple, what that presupposes is that you can have red apples, yellow apple, white apple, perhaps on the table. So I'm trying to say, don't give me the red apples, but rather give me the green apple. So whatever describes a noun, whatever paints a noun, separates a noun, modifies a noun is an adjective. Okay, it's adding the description, the descriptive feature of a noun. So that is what an adjective is. An adjective is a word that modifies or describes a noun or a pronoun. All right, so let's go to preposition. Now, to understand the meaning of preposition, number five, preposition, let's cancel the word pre. If you cancel the word pre, you're left with position. So, prepositions are words that show the relationship or the position that a word has to another. Or prepositions are words that show the relationship that exists between one word and another. Examples of prepositions would be to, from, in, on, over, above, under, beside, inside, etc. For example, she is going to the house. What's the relationship, the position of the she, the girl, and the house? What's the relationship between she and the house? The relationship is directional. It's pointing that the girl is going to. She's heading to. It shows direction. That's what prepositions do. Prepositions show position, relationship between items. Another example is, the marker is on my head. The marker is on my head. What's the relationship between the marker and my head? On. It is on. The ball went over the bar. Over the bar. The relationship between the ball and the bar is that shows that the ball went above, not underneath, not into the net, okay? It went above or over. So that's that about preposition. Prepositions are words that show the relationship or the position that exists between one item and another. So we go to the penultimate one, conjunction. Conjunction. To understand the meaning of conjunction, you cancel the word con. Con. What you're left with is junction. A junction is a spot, is a position that connects, that links other places or people together. Okay? Like a T-junction, a bus stop, etc. So a conjunction is a word that joins, that links other words, other parts of speech together. In the previous videos, we looked at the three types of conjunction in coordinated conjunctions, correlative conjunctions, and subordinated conjunctions. So we have and, we have for, we have or, we have nor, we have, the fanboys mnemonic, and then we have while. So we have and, we have for, we have or, we have no, we have while, we have but. Etc. These are just a few of the examples of conjunctions, words that join. So myself and that person, myself and this person. I want this and not that. You can take this phone or have that one. You can take this or have that. Or, so all of these are conjunctions. Words, conjunctions are words that join, that combine, that link two or more words together. So that is that about it. And finally, interjection. What's an interjection? Interjections are parts of speech or are words that are used to show or reveal emotion or to show surprises, emotions. Words that express the state of emotion or the state of mind are known as interjection, or you use them to express surprises. And most of the time, when you use interjection, you add this punctuation mark, exclamation to the end of the word. Examples of interjections, you have wow, wow, no, yay. I say yay, just surprise, ouch. So the sound you make when something vicious pokes you or when something pokes you viciously. So these are the examples of interjections. Just a few of them. Ouch, yay, ouch, no, yay, hooray. So when you want to reveal the state of mind, the state of emotions, how you feel, your feeling, you use interjection, like injection. When somebody gets injection, the doctor, you go to the hospital and you give an injection, like some of us have phobia for injection. So you shout, ouch, no. So that is what interjection is about. It's a part of speech that reveals the state of mind or feeling or the emotion of the speaker. And with that, we've come to the end of this lesson on parts of speech. I'm sure that by now, you've learned how to define or explain parts of speech. And then you know that we have 8 parts of speech and not 9 in the English language. And all of the 8 parts of speech have been explained. So subsequently, we will be looking at each of these parts of speech in full, looking at their examples and using them in sentences. Thanks a lot for watching to this point. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, kindly ensure that you do that. Share this content to as many that you know will need it. See you in the next class. Bye for now.